Hello everybody and welcome to this general walkthrough for the 4th anniversary tournament in the game of Golf Clash. As usual with these walkthroughs, I'll be putting each of the overview diagrams up on the screen and talking through some routes and suggested general elevations for all 9 holes. Bear in mind these elevations are subject to change and will need to be tweaked and adapted according to what shot you're playing and the wind strength and direction. But we have a very nice mix of holes across 3 courses, and they're found in the later tours in the game, so if you're not quite up around tour 9 and 10 and above, this walkthrough will be useful for you unless you want to use a practice area to get an idea of what we're dealing with in the 4th anniversary tournament. Okay, off we go. We begin then with some Sequoia Creek, par 4 for hole number 1. And you've got a good choice here of 2 routes. The left-hand side is slightly more favourable than the right in terms of the second shot chance for an eagle, but the drive is a little bit more technical in terms of there's less room for error here. So you have to weigh up which one you prefer to do, and also the wind direction will play some part as well. So when you're going into the hole for the first time, don't just think about the wind direction for the drive. Think about the direction you're going to have for the second shot, as that might influence the route you want to take. Black line then going slightly left, 20% on the drive there, bouncing over the bunkers and getting fairly far down towards the stream. And the second shot here is going to be rough bump plus 10% general elevation, bouncing where the red cross is. You will need quite a bit of topspin on your short iron though here, so be careful, check out the stats, especially if you've got lower level thorn, as you will be limited in topspin, and you might want to switch to the runner or indeed the hornet. Right hand side plays same elevation as the left, 20% on the drive, bouncing over with plenty of topspin to get yourself down there, and again you'll be left with short iron, medium to maximum distance, 10% for the second shot. Also going with a rough bump, but bear in mind, again, depending on the side you play and the wind direction, you might be adjusting down into the bunker, so do factor that in when making your decision of where to play on hole number 1. Second hole then, first of the par 3s, and once again we're staying with the Sequoia Creek for this one. Let's talk about rookie division first, which is the white line, bouncing just to the right of that middle bunker there where the blue cross is marked on the map. Elevation from the front tee usually plays at plus 10%. Pro and expert and master looking at the black line really, and more elevation because those tees are higher up, so 20% from second and third tee. Most usually bouncing before that very first bunker on the right hand side, and then there will be a little funnel that goes from the right to the left into the cup. And it's not a massive funnel here, but it is one that gives you a good line and a good roll to the pin for a chance at a hole-in-one. 20% general elevation, although sometimes 25 and even 30 can work here from second and third tee, so we may have to tweak that depending on what wind we have on hole number 2. So we're going to leave Sequoia Creek for now, which is currently on tour 10, and we now go to a hole from the Glenmonarch estate, currently on tour 9. Par 5, and it's a lengthy one here. We are going to need power 3 ball, and you're going to need wood club with a good amount of distance. Big dog or cataclysm, depending what you've got in your bag. The drive plays 15% downhill, and what we want to do is bounce over that little section of water there, cutting the corner, and rolling onto the fairway, but don't go too far. A lot of people put too much topspin here. You don't really need that much at all, maybe 1 bar if that, especially if you have tailwind you may want to reduce. So you've got some options. You can do kind of a rough and roll out, or you can bounce directly over, obviously with less topspin in that case, but be careful. If you roll too far, end up in rough or the sand, you are not going to reach the green in 2. You will need some left spin and also some left curl here to get a little bit nearer the green as well on your drive. From there, second shot, most likely going to need a 180-yard wood club. This one is slightly uphill. Sometimes I've been playing 0, but also been playing minus 10% elevation from here. And you want to bounce on the fairway before the green Might need some overpower if the wind is in your face here, but the idea is obviously to bounce over and hold nicely somewhere on the green. For me, this hole is only an eagle hole, so just play the safe route, get the eagle and run on hole number 3. I know some people will be tempted to go with a power hook on the drive, but like I said, for me that is not worth the risk. I would rather end up on the short grass with a chance of definitely reaching green in 2, rather than risking it and rolling into the rough and then fighting to try and save an eagle with the short iron or long iron. So that's my overview for hole number 3. Hole 4 now, par 3, and we're onto the Porthello Cove, currently only on Tour 12. So the Tour 12 beasts will know this hole very well and probably not that keen on it. It is a very difficult one and it does play severely downhill, plus 20 from front tee at least. But then second and third tee you may want to be going up to plus 25% downhill. Looks very simple, yet we've only got really one route here, straight line to the pin. However, the contours on the green are very difficult. The highest point on the green is actually along the line of that arrow, and then either side from that to the left and the right, and also beyond the pin, slopes quite drastically downhill. So if you come in too hot on this one without enough backspin, chances are you are going to roll into the rough or the sand. So you will see quite a few people making par on this hole unless you've got the right amount of backspin and the right amount of elevation. The other thing that makes this tricky is the fairway before the green is a very narrow strip indeed. So unless you've got a very accurate club, you're going to be punished both with the roll of the ball. Even if you do manage to hit the fairway with a great left or great right, it is going to affect the roll of the ball on the green as well. So plenty of danger available here on hole number 4. Be careful with this one, it's going to be tricky. Before we look at hole 5, I'm going to tell you soon we will have a couple of new things on the channel, and we're going to take a look back through the archives. As this is the 4th anniversary tournament, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to delve right back to the beginning. And we're going to be taking a look at the beginnings of Golf Clash and indeed the first ever tournament very soon on the channel. So keep an eye out for that, and make sure if you are new here, or if you're a regular, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and get the bell button enabled so you'll get your notification when we upload that special look back at the very first tournament in the game. Okay, hole 5 then, Porthello Cove once again. Now when we've had this in tournaments in the past, Playdemic have given us very favourable winds to encourage us to get to the green or around the green area. But obviously now we have changing winds, it's not going to be possible all of the time, so we need to have a couple of options up our sleeve. White line here, conservative one, usually for rookies due to the lack of powerful drivers and also the lack of wind strength. 10% extra on the drive, going to bounce over with some right spin here and top spin. Quarterback is good for the curl, bouncing over onto that fairway before the green, which is going to leave you a short iron or indeed a max wedge for a chance at the eagle. Black line here is the aggressive route, and if we do get definitely right to left wind or any form of tailwind, then the power hook is the way to go here. Max curl, usually just aiming at a reference point on the rocks to the right of that fairway, and this is going to get us, you know, pretty much on the green if we're lucky. If not, we're going to have a very makeable wedge for an eagle on hole 5. So that is going to be one that we need to go for and get if we want to do well in the 4th anniversary tournament. Hole number 6, and for me this is one of the less interesting holes that we do have in the game here. We're back on the Glenmonarch estate for this one, a par 5. And I'm showing you the route here. If we do get some favourable wind, this is what we need to do to get the eagle. It is a long hole here, and albatross is going to be very few and far between. So I would suggest definitely power 3, but if you've got power 5 ball here and you've got some tailwind, push the drive hard, bounce over that bunker there on the first white arrow, and get yourself as close to the top of that second pad of fairway as you can. 10% extra. Be careful you don't roll too long though. From there you're going to be needing wood club with distance. Once again, it's going to be the big dog or the cataclysm. 0% for the second shot. You're going to have to bounce there with right spin and right curl and get the ball to go round, take the top corner of the green and then fall down towards the pin. So that is going to be the scenario if we do get favourable wind. Obviously, with the wind changes, we are going to get some less favourable wind, i.e. headwind, in which case we're going to have to lay up on the first piece of fairway. Don't even try and get over the bunker because it's not worth it. Then you're still going to need a wood club with distance for the second shot, but rather than being on the green or close for a wedge or a putt, you're going to be taking a short iron as a third shot for a chance at eagle, in which case if you've got some crosswind you might want to play 5 or 10% extra with the thorn. So it's not a guaranteed eagle. This is going to be very, very wind dependent on hole number 6. So we're just going to have to see what we get, but if we do have a chance to reach the green in 2, we should absolutely take it. Hole number 7, the final par 3. Very good chance here. This is a very manageable par 3, also on Glenmonarch Estate. The black line, obviously general approach here, not really much else we can do here. The blue cross before the green there, just before the tip of the arrow, is for the rough bump, and that's usually for rookie division, so plus 10% from the front tee. Pro and expert and master as well are usually going to be bouncing over, which is where the red cross is marked, and the elevation generally is plus 20 on that one. And you've got to offset a little bit here unless you want to build it into your elevation, but you've got a good chance at hole-in-one, especially if we have some tailwind. This is a really good chance for a hole-in-one. Hole number 7, returning to Porthello Cove for hole number 8, this par 4. Choice of 2 routes here, but usually people will always go with the left-hand route as it's a slightly easier drive. 10% on the drive. Quarterback is good for the accuracy here. You don't want to go too long because the idea is to leave yourself a sniper second shot. Bear in mind, if you do fall into the rough here, some type of wind, you are not going to reach the green in 2 at all. So be careful on your drive. Accuracy is the key. From there, it is a rough bump to the green. Minus 10% general elevation. However, in some tailwinds we have played minus 20 as well. Even though it's kind of a downhill looking shot, the negative elevation works very well here for the rough bump, and it is a good chance for an eagle. Previously, if we have had send it wind in master, it might well be the case to strap a snow globe on, full blast, full left curl, top spin, and if you're lucky you can roll for a wedge for an eagle on hole number 8. But it's going to be interesting, but most of the time it's going to be left side from all tees on this par 4. And we return to Sequoia Creek for the final hole. Hole number 9, it's a par 5. Good chance for albatross here, much more than the other 2 par 5s than we have in this tournament. 10% on the drive, and we're looking to reach that middle little section of fairway. Second and third tee is going to be bouncing over. If you have good wind in rookie division from the front tee, you can actually play a rough bump and out onto that fairway instead. But the quarterback is good here for the curl as well. But be careful, you do catch a glitch roll sometimes, so you might want to be on the conservative side with the topspin. From there, second shot, best chance is absolutely a sniper rough bump, playing 10% downhill as a general rule. But if you don't fancy that, then you can also do a bounce over as well. The bounce over, obviously before the patch of rough, it does go downhill from that point onwards, so do bear that in mind when you're looking at your ball guide. However, in my opinion, the rough bump is going to be the best option for an albatross on hole number 9. Hopefully the walkthrough's useful to you all as a refresher, or if it causes a new. Very nice, interesting holes. I think it's a very, very good mix, and it is going to be challenging depending on what wind we're going to get. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share the video please with your clanmates and your friends in the game, and I'll look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye for now.